mind to what extent. And so I would usually do all these lives around 2 o'clock, 2:30, and school finishes at 2:45. So I had to go changing everything around about my schedule and all these lives that I've got coming up. So it's been a big adjustment for us. And I don't know, Angela, if you've got any advice on this, but as in, what's today? No, this week is when it started. My head's just been spinning because my time frame during the day has shrunk dramatically. Like, by the time I drop him and get back home, I won't be able to get back home earlier than like 8:45, is like if I really move fast and get myself home really quick. And then in the afternoon, because the parking fills up there so early, I have to leave home I don't know, at the moment I'm leaving about like 1:30-ish,
Right.
like at latest, to go there and get a spot to actually be able to park. But the school doesn't finish till 2:45. So it's just been like driving me insane. Like I'm just like, I get home, I'm trying to do a little bit, and then next minute I'm gonna get back in the car and go pick him up. So
But
how did
again,
you get through this?
no, but well, I'm just a really good planner.
Mhm.
I plan everything to the T. Even I would even plan the menus of what to cook for the family for a whole month.
For a whole
I
month?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
you're excellent.
So my advice is there are so many apps out there that can help you in planning.
Mhm.
So I'm really a sucker for life hacks. I love technology. I
Yeah.
love automation. And actually, yeah,
Why
and that's really
you're in this
why
business,
in
right?
this business, yeah. And I guess coming to your problem, again, if you had a traditional 9 to 5 job, you wouldn't be able to
Oh,
make this sort of adjustments at the snap of your finger,
no.
right?
Right. That's what I keep thinking about all week. I'm like, parents who work 9 to 5,
It's
what on earth do they do? So I was talking to a few of the parents, and they were all like, our kids go to before school care and after school care. Um, and the stress of it, to get them to school in time, get yourself to work in time, leave work in time to pick them up from after school care. It's just, I don't understand how people do it.
yeah,
Me, with
and
my flexible schedule, like with having the online business and being able to do it whenever, even in the car. When I'm in the car, I had a live with you this week
mhm,
in the car when I was waiting for
exactly.
my son. So that makes it all possible. And I'm just only stressed about, because I like to do more and I like to have more in my day to do, multiple things. So that's the only part that's stressing me out. But people who have to work in offices and 9 to 5s, I don't know how they
So
manage. I really don't.
so they have to sacrifice something, right? Either they sacrifice a partner not working, or they sacrifice, making all that money and have a full-time nanny to do all these chores for them.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's illegal not to send your kid to the school,
Yeah.
and I guess you wouldn't want that.
You, you can't choose that option. Yeah, and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
thing
Because
is,
I always tell moms, or always tell women who want to have children, think carefully, because once the baby's out, you can't return it. You can't give it back. Oh
I
my God,
love
I
that
don't have it
advice.
anymore. I'm gonna return
Yes.
it.
Yes,
You're
I
stuck with
know.
them for life. It's a
And
huge
and you
commitment,
know what I
and
didn't
and
also
and a
believe?
lifestyle shift, which they have
Yeah, it's such
to
a
be prepared
lifestyle shift.
for.
And I thought, I don't know why, I really don't know why. In my head, somehow I thought that when my son goes to school, somehow I will have more time. Definitely
Yeah,
not
yeah.
the case.
You probably didn't realize about how early you have to drive there to get a parking space, you
Yeah.
know, um, and then I guess also factor in traffic and things like that. I mean, sometimes the distance could seem really close, but you have to add in all these other extras,
Yeah.
which is the reality. I mean, if you don't do it,
I'm
you
I'm having
can't.
to live in my car now. That's one way to live. There's no housework. Yeah, so it's a bit of an adjustment, and I'm sure we'll find our rhythm with it, after a couple of weeks. But at the moment, it's just been such a shock to my system, and I've got so much respect for mums. My own mum, she did it for how many years? In my family, there's three of us. I'm the oldest, and there's my sister, and I've got a younger brother as well. And imagine we all had our classes, so we had school, and then she had the pickups from school, one when some of us would be in high school, some in primary school, and then she had the drop offs and pickups of different classes that we were doing. It was just insane. So literally she was just coming back and forth between three children all day, all afternoon. And so many mums out there are doing it like that, it's things that don't even get seen, these times and how much of yourself you're giving. It's not even seen. So anyway, it's not what the topic that we were going to talk about, but it's
Yeah.
just because it this week, like, my mind's just been blown, and I've just, I always have respect for women and how much they do and how much they juggle, but now I'm seeing it again from another level, what so many people around me had been doing, and I had just not realized how how much a sacrifice it is, how much of your time and energy you're sacrificing.
Yeah,
So
exactly. And to be honest, when I came into this business, that's something that also strikes me because our community is so diverse. We have professionals like yourself and myself. We have people from all walks of life, from Ethiopia even, from people who's never touched a computer before,
yeah,
people who have been stay-home moms all the time. And why they are able to succeed as leaders, succeed in this business, succeed as leaders, it's because they're moms.
yeah,
Yeah, we had that something in common. I mean, I'm not saying that if you're not a mom, you can't succeed.
no,
But what I'm saying is, if you're already a mom, you have the ability to juggle. You have the ability to find a solution to every single problem because you've been doing that your whole life while raising your child, right?
yeah,
Because whatever problems that you face within your family that your child has, it's not really exactly something we learned in school. And all
no,
moms would somehow adapt and think of the spot, and get back on their feet again.
yeah,
So yeah, so anyway, I think today's topic we wanted to come out to say is that why are people afraid, to start this online business? I think Sanaz and I have been saying, yeah, we're getting lots of leads. We're getting lots of people watching us. I get that everybody has their own time.
yeah,
We're not here to recruit people. We're not here to push people to join, but we're just here to share. And if they see what we are both seeing, I wouldn't understand why people don't jump on it and say yes to finding out.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think some of the things people come across, like at first it's daunting, right? It's something we don't know. It's a whole other new world of the way we make money. It's just so different, and people, I think, have a hard time probably believing that. Now, I'm not saying it's easy, like you've still got to work, but you're still doing it from the comfort of your home. You're doing it from where you want. You're doing what you enjoy. And for people, I think in their mentality, we've been brought up in such a way where we think everything has to be hard. Everything has to be so difficult. We have to get in a car. We have to drive. We have to earn it. We have to just
We have to
really
do go
earn it.
live.
Like, we just
Yeah,
have to
yeah,
pull our hair out and
yeah.
earn it. So that's
I
one
mean,
problem.
yeah,
What
yeah.
else do you think?
Well, the other thing is, yeah. So I got a reply today from
Mhm.
someone. She's like, I get it that she's really happy that I'm doing this well. But she's not so sure, about putting herself out there, sharing about this business. I mean, I haven't replied back to her yet. I will. Um, so something I want to address it, and to be honest, when I came into this business, I told my coach, Neda, I didn't even give her my real name. I gave Well, I gave her my real first name, but I gave her
Mm.
a fake last name, and that was
Yeah.
like a name people can have a zillion emails, so that was a new email that I created when I was chatting with her, and I told her, I said, there's no way I'm gonna show my face, I'm not going to even show my kids. She said it's fine because she didn't show her face as well for pretty much a year, and then I was like,
Mm.
okay, all right, and then I
Yeah.
checked out the business model. I looked at the numbers. As all of you know, I'm a very business minded person. So I look at numbers because I have a few investments. I looked at the numbers and I was blown away. So I was like, okay, the cost is very reasonable. The investment is very reasonable for the return. And it was
Yeah.
legitimate. Yeah, and that was why I went ahead. But the more I sunk into this business, the more I love it, which is why I'm showing my face
Yeah.
more and more now.
Yeah.
That's something we want to share with people. It's not a must. We don't say that you have to succeed only if you show your face. We have people who are celebrities, sports people, doctors who say they can't show their face, for whatever reason because of their profession. So you don't
Yeah.
have to show your face. Yeah. So I,
Exactly.
I,
That's
I
something
yeah.
important. People really need to know that. I think we all have this problem that when, like after a while in this business, it changes you, become more comfortable with coming in front of the camera, having a chat to people. And to be honest, it's just an easier way of getting your message across than talking to everyone individually. So that's why we do it. But it is, as Angela said, definitely not a must. So you don't have to do it. If you're uncomfortable, like we've got people, even like, for people who are from cultural backgrounds where they wear hijab, or like, we've got people who are not even showing their face, or they wear a scarf, or some just, have complete different names, and they're just a brand. So you don't have to come in front of the camera. You don't have to talk. You don't have to make these videos and do these lives and make these reels. You don't have to, dance in front of the camera. You don't have to do any of
Yeah.
these kind of things.
Yeah.
Every individual in this business does their business the way it suits them and their personalities, and everyone is successful. It's not that, oh, that person who goes live all the time is more successful than the one who doesn't, because it is vice versa as well. We've got people who go live all the time and have less success than ones who don't. So it doesn't come down to that at all. But I think when people automatically keep seeing our videos and they keep seeing these things, they're under the assumption that they have to do all these same things. So absolutely you don't. But one thing I wanted to ask you, Angela, because you mentioned, when was it that you realized that this business was real? Like, what was that turning point for you where you were just no longer sort of doubting or cautious or skeptical about it? What did
Okay.
you
So
see that
so
made you
so
believe it?
so obviously the first thing I did was I went on the internet, and there are lots of positive things about this company, and there's also a lot of negative things. Like everything out there in the internet, every public figure, there's always people who will hate you.
There's
Even for example,
Jeff
like
Bezos,
yeah, or like Bill Gates, for
everyone.
example. I don't know if
Bill
anyone
Gates,
has
yep.
has seen that pie throwing video. I mean, for me, I Bill Gates, for me, it's a hero, and and look at what he's done to Microsoft, and look what it's achieved for us to make our lives easier. So there will always be people who will hate you. And like for me, I was in the fashion industry. One of the companies I work for is Prada. I'm sure everyone knows Prada.
Everyone
And
knows.
and and Mutual Prada, the designer herself said, when you put yourself out there will be people who hate your collection. And as a designer, I know how artists are because I deal with so many artists. As a designer, they take their projects and designs so much to heart because it's their baby. And can you imagine being criticized 6 times a year during Fashion Week? Because not every single journalist is going to love your collection. There will be
Yeah,
people who will hate it. So what do? Do you cry? Do you give up? Right? So you just have to accept this is the world we live in now, especially now in the world of internet, where people are mean. I mean, there'll be mean people out there, you know, even I'm sure in your kids will tell you that, oh, mommy, that person was mean to me. I mean, that's, you know, we wish them well, you know, eventually, obviously. But we just have to accept that
Yeah.
and move on. So what was my turning point was, so after I did my research, I looked at it and the fact that the company's been around for almost 50 years. And then one thing that made me pull the trigger was because I'm from Singapore. I registered my business in Singapore. So we are all franchise owners. So because we have to register in the country that we're paying tax in, I called them. And when I called them, yeah. And so when they confirm all the paperwork and everything that it's what my coach said I had to do, I had no more doubt. And when I came in, I believe the system 100%. Even though there are naysayers out there who say it doesn't work, I told myself either I believe and I go through it and you know and make that positive shift. Otherwise, I'm not going to succeed. And another example I want to give people is that if you believe in this, because what we're saying is treat yourself like a farmer as well. If you plant a seed, right? Let's say you plant a chili seed. You decided, or you're gonna grow tomatoes, for example. You're gonna love that plant. You're gonna water it. You're gonna give it sunlight or less sunlight if it needs. You know, you're gonna nurture it like it's your own child. You're not gonna dig it up every few days.
Yeah.
Because that plant is going to die. And
Exactly.
yet
So
the
well
other thing
said.
that suddenly got to my mind as well is, you know, some people are so anxious to be successful like after a month. It's like why am I not successful? You know, why were you successful? Think about it. If you try to accelerate pregnancy, you know, a child needs 9 months. Wouldn't you end up having a mutant baby? You know, think right? Because I was thinking to myself, like, there's so many people are so impatient.
That's such a good
And
point.
even and think about your life. Like for me, it took me 18 months to get an MBA. It took me 4 years to get a bachelor's degree. So what is 4 years if you have to make this business succeed? And even when Facebook send me all these Facebook memory pictures, you know, like my friend just sent me a memory picture. Oh, this was 4 years ago. You cooked this amazing meal for me. And I thought to myself, oh my goodness, 4 years just flew by like that. Can you imagine how successful we will be in 4 years' time?
4 years' time, exactly. So our coach has reached retirement level in 3.5 years.
Exactly, yeah, 3.5.
Compared to anything else.
Okay.
And that was a huge turning point for me, you know, to realize that, because and that's why I'm not worried. You know, every day we do the actions. You know, you got to have the guts. You got to have the guts to just persevere, and you've got to have the big picture in mind, that when you look back in 4 years' time, you're going to see how much you've progressed in business. You're building yourself an empire, something for yourself and your family that's going to take care of you guys. So, you know, that to me is worth putting time into. It's worth putting effort into. And you know, keep doing your job on the side. Don't quit your job and get into this business, so you're not counting the minutes until you have an income, because you will have an income.
Yeah.
But first you got to be built, because we're not all born as entrepreneurs. So you got to build your mindset. You got to practice. You got to advertise. You got to do a whole heap of things. It's not a get rich quick scheme. It's nothing, you know, like that. But it is something that is scalable, and you could do a lot with it over the years. It just keeps getting better and better and better. But you know, I do get it. People, you know, like myself as well, like I lost a lot of money with online stuff, not knowing what was real and what wasn't. Like at the beginning when I started searching, I couldn't distinguish, and I fell for a couple of pretty dodgy things. I mean, I didn't put too much money into it. I put a little bit. It was about, amount I was willing to
Yeah.
lose, but it's never nice losing money. But then I got to know the difference between what's real and what's not. And some of the things, like with the ones that are not real, people are always hidden. You never actually see anybody's face. You don't know if you've got their real name or what the go is. They're hard to get a hold of. They take your money and they pretty much disappear, more or less. Or if they haven't disappeared, it's because they need more money from you.
Like a
Like
Ponzi
we invested.
scheme. Yeah.
Exactly. Like they just keep needing more and more from you. So they're just kind of working on your head to just keep getting you to invest more and more and more. So those were the things I didn't realize at the beginning, where when it's a legit business, it's, you pay taxes for it. You can find that out with the tax office or your authorities in your country, wherever you are, whether this company is, legit. So you can check it that way. But the other thing is, there's a clear plan, like you invest and then you do this, you do that. It's not like keep investing, keep it. Even the costs of our website and, our training system, our mentoring, the masterminds, we've got coach, we've got mentor, we've got all of this stuff. Even that is a one-off cost, and all it is $149. It covers all your systems, so it's not a business that is going to just keep, you have to keep reinvesting in it. So that's how you figure out what's real and what's not. And the fact that we're here every week live, everyone in our business, their life is just on display all the time. And if anyone is trying to hide something, they would never be displaying their life or anything like that. So but I do get people's skepticism, because it is out there. It is, there are a lot of scams, and for people who are beginning their search, it's really hard for them to know, what's real and what's not. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
understandable.
Yeah. We totally understand that people should make their own informed decision, do a thorough research, because you're absolutely right. There's tons of scams out
Yeah.
there. And I guess coming back to the question, about, not showing your face and all, I think an example that Netta showed us the other day was, for example, the singer Sia, with that very
Yeah.
famous song
That was a good
Unstoppable.
example.
It's such a
Yeah.
great example that we have never seen what Sia looks like. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
We never,
so
and look
that,
how
that there
successful
there are
she
so
is.
many new ways. Also these days you can do AI videos as well. That you can just use your voice and with lots of pictures, voiceover. It's that there are ways which we can teach you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the programs, like you can make all your ads like all without yourself, like everything will be taught to you. So pretty much there's nothing for you to worry about. You just come in with an open mind, ready to learn. Everything is in the learning sense going to be spoon fed to you. Yes, you're going to have to run your own business. You're going to have to be independent and all that kind of stuff. But you've always got your coach and mentor teaching you and guiding you and making sure that any mistakes that anyone's made in the past, you're not making those mistakes. And to me, that
Yeah.
was worth so much, to know that you've got that. And the other thing is the trial period, if you want to test it out, if it's real, legit, or no, not, or whatever, like if you're a bit skeptical, just come into the trial. It's just $149 to come into the trial and check it all out closely and then invest into it. So that was the other bonus, you get to just dip your toes in and out and figure out how it all works. A lot of other businesses did not have a trial option whatsoever. Like you get sent the information, either you want it or you don't. You don't get invited into their private Facebook groups. You don't get to check out all the other business owners in the business and all that kind of stuff. So that was um, I guess another way people can check out to see if it's real and if they're comfortable with it, and if what the things we do and how they can do it to suit their personality, if that's something that they like to do or not. So yeah,
Yeah.
but people are scared because it's just
Yeah.
new. I think more than
Yeah.
anything, it's all new.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even we say,
Exactly.
don't tell. Like one advice that I I now give my mentees is that don't go telling your friends and family, obviously talk to close ones or whoever. Like if your partner, you've got to make a decision about what you invest in, what you do, what kind of business you're doing. You've got to obviously make that decision together. But don't go discussing it with everyone, because people are afraid of what they don't know. So when you're sitting in a cafe talking to a friend of yours, telling them that there's this online business that you're thinking to join, they're going to freak out for you. They're going to say, no, all online stuff is a scam, because they don't know. They haven't seen the videos. They
Yeah,
haven't researched it.
yeah,
How are they going to know? So they think they're
exactly.
doing the best thing by you to advise not to do it. And then even in real estate, like when I sell properties, sometimes there's first home buyers, like young couples who want to come and buy, and they want to come with both sets of parents. And sometimes I say, just do that, but be mindful that your parents want the best for you. So if they see the tiniest crack on the wall, or if you just see a scratch on the wall, or if they see anything, they're just gonna, raise alarm bells for you when it's okay. Sometimes it's kind of like a restaurant. Like if you go to a restaurant and there's all this big menu of food and you can't make a decision. So when there's too many opinions, you can't make your decision. You have to sometimes just rely on your own gut feeling and go with your own educated decision on it, basically.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we said
Frozen.
quite a lot today. We can always leave for more, for if people have more questions on how to do it without showing your face, and really check this out. It's a new way, but don't be afraid. We won't bite.
And the other good thing is when they come into the trial, they can meet all the other business owners in our
Yeah,
Facebook
exactly.
group.
Yeah,
So then they can check them out and see how everyone is running their business. And in amongst those people are many people who are not showing their face, they're not doing videos, they're not doing any of that kind of stuff. They're doing it completely different.
yeah,
So they get to see that, because
yeah,
if they've come to your website or my website and they've followed our pages, well, all they're seeing is we're doing lives, we're doing this, that, and they think, well, that's not for me.
yeah,
But that's why you need to come into the trial and actually explore and see that everyone else, like a lot of other people, are doing it without any of these things, and they're very, very
yeah,
successful at it.
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So feel free to ask us questions, and if you have any hesitation, talk to us about it, and we'll guide you a bit more.
Yeah, of course. So, yeah, I hope, you guys will check us out and, actually come to the risk-free trial, because you never know what you're missing if you don't check
If
it out.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know what you don't know. So definitely check it out, learn some more about it. I hope wherever you are, you have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy your weekend, Angela. Over here, it's Australia Day today. So for all the people in Australia, happy Australia Day.
Oh,
Hope you have a great day off with your families. Yeah, so this Friday's,
happy Australia Day.
yeah,
It's like a national
thank
day.
you. Yeah, it's a national holiday, so just for the
I
one
see.
day.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
so
nice.
yeah, so enjoy your weekend. Thanks everyone for joining us again this Friday, and we look forward to talking to you next Friday. If there's any topics that you guys prefer, like you want us to address in our lives, Angela or myself, feel free to message us and let us know, and we can discuss it in our following lives.
Yeah,
All
definitely.
right, have a
All
great
right.
weekend,
Okay.
everyone. Thanks,
All right.
Angela.
Have a good weekend. See
Bye.
you too. Bye.
Bye.